Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Najihah Binti Muharam and my supervisor is Madam Zurina Binti Kasim. I would like to begin my presentation by stating the title of my final year project, which is Comparison of HOLT'S Method and Fuzzy Time Series in Forecasting Wholesale Price of Processed Broiler Chicken in PERLIS. The price fluctuations of broiler prices have been a constant issue amongst the wholesalers, retailers, and even the consumers in PERLIS. Due to the high consumption of this affordable source of protein, price forecasting will be made to ensure the future price will be known beforehand, as well as to make sure the wholesalers make better price decisions in the future. Therefore, the objectives in this study are to perform a weekly forecast on the wholesale price of broiler chicken in PERLIS from January 2020 to July 2021 using HOLT'S method and fuzzy time series, and select the best model which can produce the highest accuracy with the lowest errors. Both of the methods use historical data from the first week of January 2020 until the last week of June 2021. Moreover, each model is evaluated using two types of error measures, mean squared error and mean absolute percentage error, to compare the errors produced. Based on the finding in this study, it has shown that the fuzzy time series outperforms HOLT'S method by the MSE of 0.2101 and MAPE of 5.7371%. Hence, fuzzy time series is chosen as the best model compared to HOLT'S method due to the lowest error measures. The broiler industry has been one of the important agricultural developments in PERLIS due to its cheap protein sources. It can be seen where the consumption of chicken meat per household in PERLIS is 6.3 kg monthly, and they consume about 93.3% compared to other protein sources. Due to the high consumption, the market price should be stable, and the price movement is important for the marketing strategy. On top of that, price fluctuations are normally influenced by the feed price and festive seasons. Keeping track of the price movement is important for both wholesalers and retailers. Hence, applying forecasting is one of the ways to improve the market quality by predicting the future price so that early planning can be made. The domination of the wholesalers in the decision-making of the broiler price has distributed unpredictable wholesale prices toward retailers. Consequently, they encountered difficulties in adjusting their retail price and profit estimation. Besides, the uncertainty about the price movement from time to time has also concerned the retailers. There are two objectives to be achieved in this study. Firstly, to forecast the weekly wholesale price of processed broiler chicken from January 2020 until the first week of July 2021 using HOLT'S method and fuzzy time series. The second objective is to determine the best method among HOLT'S method and fuzzy time series to forecast from January 2020 until the first week of July 2021. The focus of this study is to perform forecasting on the weekly price of 5 wholesalers in PERLIS. The forecasting is carried out on short term to identify the future price movements, and lastly, this study focuses on the selection of the best method with the highest accuracy to be used. This study can significantly benefit not only wholesalers but retailers and the price regulatory authorities. It is beneficial for the retailers because they will be able to analyze the future price, which resulted in better planning for retail price as well as their profit growth. Furthermore, the forecast price will assist the wholesalers in deciding the selling price to the retailers. And lastly, it will be beneficial for the regulatory authorities to make price control, especially during festive seasons. For the first part of the literature review, I will explain on the price relationship between market levels in the broiler industry. According to the study by Muazu et al. In 2018, the findings has shown that the price transmission between retail to wholesale level shows symmetrical behavior, while retail to farm level shows asymmetrical behavior. However, an earlier study conducted by Sharifuddin et al. In 2013 stated that asymmetrical behavior can be seen where the price transmitted from farm to retail level. Symmetrical behavior from the study can be explained by an example where any increase or decrease in retail price will be transferred to the farm price equally, while asymmetrical behavior will not transfer the price equally. In this second part of the literature review, I will be explaining the application of price forecasting on various products. Firstly, a study on comparison of forecasting the retail price of Indian mackerel fish using autoregressive moving average method, or as known as ARIMA, and HOLT'S method. The result has shown that HOLT'S method produces higher accuracy compared to ARIMA. Next, Norizan and Yusuf conducted a study on forecasting the price of natural rubber using 4 different methods, namely ARIMA, knife trend, HOLT'S, and hot winter methods. Among the 4 methods used, ARIMA has the best performance with the lowest error. And for the last one, the study on forecasting the price of crude oil by using fuzzy time series. The technique used to measure the performance is by comparing the evaluation of each year starting from 1991 until 2009. In performing any forecasting, the historical data is important as it shows the behavior of the past movements. Therefore, in this study, a historical data which consists of weekly wholesale price from January 2020 until June 2021 with a total of 79 weeks. The data was gained from PERLIS, which stands for Federal Agricultural and Marketing Authority. On top of that, the price unit used in this study is measured in Ringgit Malaysia. The forecasting will be done using 2 different methods, which are HOLT'S method and fuzzy time series. However, the forecasting will be done for 80 weeks, where the next forecast is the first week of July 2021. For the HOLT'S method, there are 5 equations needed. The main equations are consisted of smoothing level, smoothing trend, and forecast. In order to begin the forecast for the first data, the initial values are needed for the smoothing level and trend, which follow the equation of the initial smoothing level and initial smoothing trend. The forecast equation does not need the initial value as it starts on the second data. The second method used is fuzzy time series. In this method, there are 7 steps to be followed to perform the forecasting. In the first step, it is required to define the universe of discourse, number of intervals, and the interval length. After that, in the second step, the data price need to be sorted into fuzzy sets according to the membership value of either 1 or 0.5. The third step is to perform fuzzification based on the fuzzy logical relationship, or as known as FLR. Fuzzification can be done by taking the previous and the current fuzzy set. In step number 4, the FLRs with the same left-hand side need to be grouped together and form a fuzzy logical relationship group, or FLRG. The next step, each of the FLRs will be assigned with weight in the matrix form. After that, in the step 6, the data are ready to be forecasted using the initial forecast formula, where HDF is the median of each the linguistic interval for this data. Lastly, in step 7, by using the formula of adaptive forecast, the forecasted values are ready to be generated. Meanwhile, the value of weight parameter B is decided by the solver function in the Microsoft Excel to obtain the best value with the lowest value of MSE. After generating the forecasting using both methods, the performance of the models need to be measured. Two types of error measures are used in this study, which are mean squared error and mean absolute percentage error. The process of forecasting using this method, as explained earlier, was first by generating values for smoothing level, trend, and forecast. The initial value used for level and trend are 5.75 and 0 respectively. In the case of the calculation of parameter alpha and beta, the solver function generates the value based on the lowest reading of MSE for this data. The results has shown that the best value of alpha of 0.9711 and beta of 0.0751 with MSE of 0.2319 and MAPE of 5.8867%. Based on this figure, the graph shows the comparison of the actual and the forecasted price. The grey line indicated the actual and the yellow line indicates the forecasted price throughout the 80 weeks, starting from January 2020 until first week of July 2021. The forecasting process of fuzzy time series is more complex when compared to the HOLT'S method. The result has shown that the interval numbers is 13 and the interval length of 0.47. After the process of fuzzification, assigning weight matrix and initial forecast, the value of B is generated based on the lowest value of MSE for the calculation of adaptive forecast. The figure shows the graph comparison between the actual and the forecasted value using the value of B equals to 0.0254, MSE of 0.2101, and MAPE of 5.7371%. The yellow line of the forecasted price are nearly similar to the grey line of actual price. The last step in this study, where the selection of the best model was done by comparing the value of each MSE and MAPE. Therefore, the result has shown that the best method selected to forecast the wholesale price for the total of 80 weeks is fuzzy time series, as it outperforms the HOLT'S method in terms of the error values. We can reach a conclusion where accuracy is important in forecasting. Models which produce the lowest errors are considered as the model with a high accuracy. In this study, fuzzy time series is chosen as the best model. Nevertheless, the difference in errors between both methods is relatively small. The suggestion for the future study is implementing other types of methods such as Box-Jenkins-Arima, HOLT-Winter, single exponential, and more. Besides, the price movements of the chicken feed should also be further studied in the future as it is related with the broiler price. That's all from me, and thank you so much for listening my presentation.